Robert Paris for B News Sports here, and welcome back to our special Red Devil Classics Thanksgiving Day Marathon, where we look back at some of the finest matchups between the Burlington Red Devils and the Lexington Minutemen. Our next game is a special one from the 2004 Red Devil season. For more, let's send it back to fellow B News Sports reporter, Phil Acaro.
Thanks, Robert. Our second installment of this Thanksgiving Day showdown brings us back to 2004 as the Devils took on the Minutemen yet again. This time the stakes were much higher. Under the old MIAA playoff system in use until 2012, only league champions would qualify for the postseason. At this point in time, Burlington and Melrose were the top two teams in the league. Melrose was 9-0 and Burlington 8-1 in league play going into Thanksgiving Day. A Melrose loss to Wakefield and a Burlington win over Lexington meant that Burlington would be crowned Middlesex League Co-Champs with Melrose. This would be Burlington's first league title in nearly 50 years when they won the Merrimack Valley Conference in 1958. Now let's go back to Thanksgiving of 2004 as the Burlington Red Devils faced off against the Lexington Minutemen at Lexington High School.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 32nd annual Thanksgiving Day game between the Burlington Red Devils and the Lexington Minutemen. Joined as always by Matt Rippon, I'm Max Rollinger, and we are ready for kickoff. And out of bounds. And Matt, last season, this Thanksgiving game had a lot more on the line than just pride as Lexington defeated Burlington on the road to win the Middlesex League. This season, both teams have had above-average seasons, and Burlington would like nothing better than to give Minutemen a little payback and take home a share of the Middlesex title on the road this year.
They definitely would, but Max, you have to have two things in your mind for this game. One, that both these teams want this bad, but you also have to think of the field condition. It rained hard last night, and it's a muddy field out there. And last year was really cold. This year, very, very wet and muddy. So you got to keep that in mind. People are going to be slipping, missing catches. It's going to be a sloppy football game.
Absolutely. Reminds me a lot of the first Thanksgiving game that we did a couple years ago when this Lexington team was 0-10. Fitzgerald set to kick it off, and that is taken by number 28. That is Joe Real, I believe. Paul Kakajian. And he'll take it back to about midfield. So good field position to start off the game for these Burlington Red Devils. They are led by sophomore quarterback Dan Walsh in his first season as a starter. And he did a fairly solid job as Burlington is 6-3, second in the Middlesex League.
But we all know, Max, Burlington's really known for their running game.
Absolutely. 1,400 yards combined from Joe Real and Jake Daigle. So Walsh, give us to Daigle. Daigle running to the left, breaking tackles, and the tackle is made by Harrison Aurak, gain of about 12 yards and a first down right off the bat. And that's exactly what Burlington's going to have to do if they're going to win this game. Daigle and Real, both seniors. One of the most dynamic running back duos in Burlington history. Two receivers to the near side left, one receiver to the right. Once again, give us to Daigle. Daigle to the left. And he picks up another Burlington first down. So right off the bat, two straight runs. And
well, if you look at the receivers, Max, the receivers are also doing an incredible job blocking. I'm sure they've been doing it all season long. I haven't actually gotten to see most of the Burlington games, but they've really done a great job. And number 29, Joe Real, he's also a captain. He can also block very, very well. So you'll see these blocks. If you now don't just watch Daigle, watch these blocks that he's picking up.
I formation. And Daigle's still on his feet, brought down by Jason Kashmanian and Niraj Sharma. And an amazing statistic here, Kashmanian not only leads the team in tackles with 42 this season, he also leads the team in receiving touchdowns with 5.
That's surprising.
That is. Kashmanian really a force on offense and defense all season long for this football team.
And last year, not so much, so he's really stepped it up this season.
Yep. He really only played defense last season, but he's really made himself into a versatile offensive player, and that's really helped out this Minutemen football team so far this year. Going to be 1st and 10, ball going to be placed on the 29-yard line. I formation again. Once again, a toss sweep. And there goes Daigle on his feet, and he is brought down by Harrison Aurak and Paul Wenzel, and he will be close to another first down. I believe he picked it up.
And once again, number 29, Joe Rial, lead blocking Paul Wenzel to the left and creating that hole for the nice sweep play there.
And I'll tell you what, if Lexington's defense is not going to be able to stop this running game, it's going to be a long afternoon.
You really can't just have one linebacker, one lineman watching Jake Daigle. You just can't have it, because that guy is going to be blocked, and Daigle's going to blow right by him.
And Harrison Aurak having a word there with Paul Wenzel, maybe telling him to move over a little bit to the left side, which is where they've been running. Daigle again with the carry, and a flag is thrown.
Booza took him down.
Booza did take him down. That's probably going to be a hold or a false start penalty.
Wenzel was getting a little upset with some of the people that were coming across through, getting a little aggressive in the backfield there. But
and holding is called on Burlington. That's going to back him up 5 yards. And as we mentioned, the last time these two teams met, it was for much more than just pride, as Lexington and Burlington met to decide the Middlesex League Championship. Lexington, of course, we were there, won that game 28-21.
Still the best high school football game I've ever seen.
Absolutely, without question. And Jake Daigle had a huge game last season, and he is well on his way to another huge game in this year's contest as well. The 32nd meeting between these two teams. Burlington trying to put some points on the board for the first drive. Once again, run to Daigle. Breaking tackles down the middle, and he is inside the 10-yard line. They have not thrown the ball once, and it simply hasn't mattered because Lexington right now powerless to stop Jake Daigle.
And Lexington really just waiting for Daigle to come to them, and that's something you cannot do. If you wait for Daigle to come to you, he will get 5 yards, 6 yards, 10 yards, and he's just going to blow right by you.
And so far, the Burlington offensive line has really dominated Lexington's D-line, something that cannot continue if Lexington's going to win. And Reale with the carry this time. And a late flag is thrown, possibly a face mask.
Florian Aurak on the tackle.
We'll go down and see what the call is.
It's a face mask.
Yep. It's going to be against Lexington. That's going to move Burlington up inside the 5-yard line. And wow, these field conditions, especially near the goal line, absolutely horrific.
Both goal lines, actually.
Yeah. And Harrison Aurak having himself a big year in his first season as a starter. He had 2 interceptions last week against Reading, including one that would have been a touchdown, but was called back due to a penalty, and we'll talk about that after this play. And an I formation here for Walsh. Actually, a split back formation. Give to Reale. Reale into the end zone. He hit the pylon. That is going to be a touchdown, I believe. No, we're going to rule him out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
It's Wenzel and Aurak.
Yep. Looked like he hit the pylon, but apparently he was out of bounds.
Remember, Aurak has had a great season, lots of tackles, but again, you do not want your DBs to have the most tackles on your team. That means something is wrong.
Absolutely. So here we go, split back. Reale, I believe he's in. Yes, he is. What an impressive first drive there by the Burlington Red Devils, and they are up 6-0.
Again, Max, not one pass there in that entire drive. They just ran it right down the throats of this Lexington defense, and it appeared to work brilliantly. Lexington could not stop. They could not stop Reale and Daigle, and if this is a show of things to come, then we're going to have a long ball game here.
And a 9-play, 53-yard drive for this Burlington team. And Dan Horty set to kick the extra point. Good snap. Kick is on the way. Kick is good. So Burlington is up 7-0. And now it's going to be Mike Busa and the Lexington offense's turn to try and get something going. Lexington is third in the Middlesex League this season in total offense with 3,010 yards total. But on the other hand, Burlington's defense has not allowed more than 1 touchdown in any game this season. So A nice matchup between a great offense and a terrific defense, and we'll see who wins this battle.
Well, this season for Lexington has really been up and down. I mean, still above average, but it's really gone from win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. They really can't get a consistent win streak going here, Max.
Yep. Lexington has won 2 straight games against Wakefield a couple weeks ago and Reading last week
And that
for
was
the
the
first time this season. And that should tell you all you need to know. Not a very consistent team. Burlington, on the other hand, on a 3-game win streak.
In their defense, though, it's been a tough schedule.
Absolutely.
The teams outside of the Middlesex League have also been hard for the Lexington Minutemen, and you know, they haven't had some of the big seniors that they had last year. Kurt Chisholm, Matt Lopez.
Set to kick it off is Walsh, and taken by Spartacino about the 20. Spartacino going up the middle, and he'll be out to about the 40-yard line. Great field position to start off the game for the Lexington Minutemen. And here comes Mike Busa, his final start in a Lexington uniform. And Jesse Spartacino also his last start in a Lexington uniform. A lot of speculation as to where Spartacino will end up. He's definitely going to be playing college ball, we know that much. But from what we've been hearing, Yale, Harvard, and Brad. Not bad places to go to school, not bad places to play football. All have been on the recruiting trail this season. Shotgun formation for Busa. Back to pass, looking downfield for Suramaki. Incomplete. Suramaki could not hang on. There are also some rumors that Spartacino might be going to Mississippi State. And let me tell you, Matt, Jesse Spartacino would be the first and only resident of Lexington to ever go to school in Mississippi.
I don't know if we can say that for
well,
fact.
You know what I mean.
But one of the only.
Yep. We'd have to confirm that, but I'd say there's a good probability that not many people from this town have gone to school in Mississippi.
Be a big downgrade.
Yeah,
in,
yeah, I'd
a lot
say
of
so.
people's size.
I-back formation. Spartacino breaks to the outside, still on his feet, and he is very close to a first down.
And
nice hard running there by Jesse Spartacino.
And remember, they didn't tackle him. He slipped right under them. His feet just fell right up from under him, and that just tells you something about the field conditions today, Max.
Yeah, the field conditions are atrocious right now. And they'll remain so throughout the game. So Lexington's going to be a couple yards shy of the 50-yard line, which is where the first down marker is at. Busa, back to pass, looking downfield for his favorite target, Curley, incomplete. Busa wanted a flag throw, not going to happen. Good coverage there. And Lexington so that's going to bring up 4th and 1. Not sure what Lexington's going to do here. Busa trots back onto the field, and I believe they are going to go for it here, and they will.
I don't know, because Busa is in fact the punter also right now.
That's true.
But they will be going for it.
Once again, an I-back formation. Curley, the lone receiver, gives it to Spartacino. He has a first down. No doubt about who that ball was going to. And Spartacino just ran right through the middle of the defense and picks up a Lexington first down. As we were mentioning, Harrison Aurak, 2 interceptions last week, including one called back for the touchdown. We talked to Harrison about that a couple days ago, and he was miffed, to say the least. That would have been the first interception for a touchdown of his career. Mike Busa, playing quarterback, said it was the greatest thing he's ever seen in his 4 years of playing football at LHS. Not the penalty, of course, as Cashmanian picks up a yard, but the interception return. Harrison Aurak actually high-stepped into the end zone, but that play, unfortunately, was called back. And from all accounts that I've heard, it seemed like it was a pretty glorious interception. And he also picked off another pass later in that game to really help the team out. Lexington won that game against Reading last week, 18-15 in overtime. Spartacino with the game-winning touchdown. Busa, back to pass, looking. Now he's going to run with it. And Busa is going to be close to a first down, picks up about 8. Mike Busa can run if he needs to, and he showed right there. The pocket collapsed right in front of him, and he just ran up there, and it's going to be close to a first down. Nice decision there by Michael Busa. And a 6-yard gain. And it's going to be 3rd and 2, ball placed on the Burlington 41-yard line. Lexington's leading receiver so far this season, Ross Curley, in his first season as a starter, has caught 22 passes for 360 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Pleasant surprise for this Lexington offense, Ross Curley.
Spartacino right up the middle, still on his feet, and he just kept those feet moving out to about the 20-yard line. Big pickup by Jesse Spartacino.
Well, the mud was not a factor there, Max. Spartacino saw the hole, just kept those legs churning, and just ran right over 2, maybe 3 Burlington defenders.
Classic Jesse Spartacino power running right up the gut. Picks up a Lexington first down. And it's going to be 1st and 10 just outside the red zone, ball placed on the 21-yard line. I-back formation, give to Spartacino again. Spartacino, gain of about 5. And they continue to hand the ball off to Spartacino, and why not?
Eddie Borden, Brian Ham, David DiPietro creating those holes for Jesse Spartacino to bust through.
The offensive line really been playing much better of late. At the beginning of the season, they were not very consistent. Busa was getting sacked quite a bit, but they have really turned it up over the past few weeks, as evidenced by the 2-game winning streak that this team is on. Busa, back to pass, looking, and that is complete out to about the 10-yard line. And the catch was made by Hayato Suramaki. And Paul Kejian makes the tackle for Burlington. Now, as we mentioned, Burlington can clinch a share of the Middlesex title today with a win against Lexington, combined with a Wakefield win over Melrose. So, obviously, this game has big-time implications for the Burlington Red Devils. They would like nothing better, as we mentioned in the pregame show, to give Lexington a little payback this year. Busa fumbles the snap briefly, and he maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. That ball is wet and muddy, and that could be an issue all game long between the quarterback and the center there. And Matt, after Burlington had a very impressive first drive, Lexington has come right back down the field. I've really been impressed by the way this offense has responded. And Busa trots back onto the field. It's going to be 2nd and goal. Ball on about the 8-yard line.
Now, Max, do you think on the next drive for Burlington they're going to do this exact same thing, not throw it one pass?
Well, I mean, it's been working so far, so I wouldn't expect it to turn out otherwise. Is Curley in? No, he is just outside the end zone. So, a nice little hitch play right there to Ross Curley, who cut right over the middle, and he'll be very close to the goal line. 3rd and goal at the 1.
Curley's he's a big guy, but he's got really great hands, Max.
He's
made
does.
some fantastic catches over the season.
And we really didn't expect him
Not
to be
at-
a noticeable
not
part of
at
this
all.
offense at the beginning of the year. But he has really emerged as a force. 3rd and goal, Spartacino didn't get anywhere. And do you kick a field goal here, or do you go for it?
I say you go for it here, Max.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Especially if you're this. You know that Burlington, it's a tenacious defense, but just as much of a tenacious offense, and they're going to be running it right down your throat. If you don't if you make this mistake of going for a field goal, I think you go touchdown right here.
Well, the good thing about Busa is that he's both the quarterback and the field goal kicker, so could go one way or the other, and Busa's going to call a timeout. Didn't like what he saw.
Apparently fans like the timeout there,
Yep,
Max.
they do. So Busa's going to go talk it over with Coach Bill Ty in his 30th season as the head coach here at Lexington High School. Really just an unbelievable career so far for Bill Ty. He earlier this year won his 250th game of his career. Congratulations to him. And this Lexington football program, after a couple years of really atrocious football, to say the least, has really rebounded over the past couple years, and they're in prime position to be a force in this league for years to come.
Well, we'll see what happens next year, Max. It'll be very interesting to watch.
Brian Byrne, I assume, would be the starting quarterback next season. He really filled in admirably for Busa. Busa going to pass the ball, gives it to Spartacino, and I don't think he got in. He did! Spartacino is into the end zone for the touchdown. That was awfully close. Spartacino just got the ball over the end line. Let's take a look at that on the instant replay. Spartacino, wow, just got over in time.
With the reach of his right arm there, Max, holding that football, the ball went over the plane, touchdown. And the Burlington coaches do not like that at all.
No. If there was instant replay in high school football, you'd better believe that they'd challenge that call. And so Busa, after leading that very impressive first drive for the Minutemen, will attempt to kick the extra point. And not the greatest field conditions to be kicking that extra point, to say the least. Here's the kick. Just makes it over. Wow. That was a line drive, to say the least.
I think that's the closest extra point I've ever seen.
That was awfully close to hitting the upright there, but Lexington and Burlington tied at 7 with a little over 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Spartacino, 5 carries, 37 yards, and that 1 receiving touchdown. Very impressive opening drive. And
now,
Busa,
Max,
3 of 5 for 14 yards.
this gives the Lexington offense some confidence here, Max, but they've really got to focus on their defense right now. They know they can do it on offense. They have the tools. They have Spartacino. They have Curley. They have Suramaki. They have Busa, but they really got to get it done on defense. They've got to stop Daigle, and they've got to stop Reale.
And Burlington's opening drive, very impressive. The offensive line of Burlington really just dominating the line of scrimmage so far. Lexington's obviously going to have to do something about that if they're going to win this ball game. And how sweet it would be for these Minutemen to ruin Burlington's chances for a Middlesex League title yet again. Huge return by Jake Daigle.
Taken down big by Nick Pasegna.
And Pasegna with the tackle there.
Pasegna's done his fair share for the team this season on defense and special teams. And if you look at some of the jerseys here on the sideline, you can get a little taste of how hard this Lexington offense and defense has been playing.
Absolutely. You see all that dirt on their uniforms
there.
there.
Look at DePietro's back.
That's ridiculous, to say the least. So, the Lexington defense. And we got a little bit of an issue there. An official timeout to fix the first down marker. Looks like it got damaged somehow. And the refs are going to be on that. Perfect time now to tell you about the other Middlesex League games happening today. Woburn at Winchester. Winchester looks to rebound from their defeat against Wakefield last week. They host Woburn in their Thanksgiving clash. And Woburn last week defeated Watertown 35-12. Woburn at 7-3. Winchester at 3-6. Melrose looking for their first undefeated season in school history as they play Wakefield. Melrose has already clinched their share of the Middlesex League title and a playoff berth. And with the win, as we said, first undefeated season in school history. Matt's going to tell you about Stoneham and Reading.
Well, Stoneham 1-9 and Reading 4-5. Reading as well has had their worst season in 5 years. I won't be very excited. But Watertown 3-7 and Belmont 0-9. Belmont could win their first game in 2 years with a victory.
Unbelievable. That Belmont team really just holding down the cellar of that Middlesex League, and they are not giving it up.
They have moved in, and they refuse to move out.
Yep. That cellar is locked for a while. Here is the carry. Daigle running hard, close to a first down. And once again, that running game just really paying dividends early here for the Burlington offense. Lexington's defense really just having a hard time stopping the run.
Well, one, they're shutting down the line. The line's doing absolutely nothing. They can't get any penetration. They can't get anywhere past that offensive line. Plus the linebackers, Spartacino and Flory, they're really not following Daigle and Reality for that matter. Nobody's clicking together, not working as a team.
That's going to be the end of the first quarter. Tie game at 7 in the 32nd meeting between Burlington and Lexington on Thanksgiving Day. Lexington is up in the all-time series, I believe 17 to
13.
13, yep. And 1.
And a terrible tie. Max, although it is 7-7, the score doesn't really state this, but I see this Burlington team marching right down this field and scoring again if Lexington does not do something drastic here.
Well, you know what? Burlington, you got to give them credit. They came into this game very motivated after just being really just, well, I don't want to say demolished, but really just having their spirits broken last year. They had a chance to win the Middlesex championship, have her first state title since, first Middlesex League title since 1984, and Lexington just came into their house and just simply dominated them, and they'd like nothing better now than to beat Lexington on the road this season. And this team is really motivated. You know, Daigle, his last start, he had a great game last season, but he just really running hard right now.
Well, how is Lexington going to stop them? How can they? How can they, Max?
Well, the only way that they're going to be able to stop them is to get better penetration, but with the way that this Burlington offensive line is playing, it's going to be very difficult. Burlington, I mean, you look at their line right now, huge. I mean, it's going to be very difficult for this defensive line to penetrate through that offensive line and stop Jake Daigle and Joe Reale.
It says here, Bert Adam, starting tackle, 6'5". Just goes to show you some of the people on that offensive line. It's just huge.
Daigle again, the carry, and he has a gain of about 4 or 5. Really,
taken down by Sharma.
Yep. Sharma's having himself a pretty nice season so far. Really filled in well when Mark Behrens went down. Mark Behrens was supposed to really anchor this defensive line. He went down early in the season. Neeraj Sharma stepped up and never relinquished that starting job. Also, Lexington's linebackers have to be making those plays. When Daigle breaks his initial tackle, he is extremely dangerous. They need to just make sure that he does not get into the open field. And that is exactly why right there. Daigle broke the first tackle, and he picks up another first down.
Taken there down by Hayato Suramaki. I've been watching Spartacino the last couple plays, and that's what I was wondering why he's not getting in on one of these plays. They're sending their lead blocker after Spartacino almost every down because they know how dangerous he could be. He is probably the most powerful person on this Lexington team, just muscle-wise and just strength-wise. You got to take him out, and that's exactly what they're doing.
And Spartacino really just a great tackler as well. So obviously, as you mentioned, that lead blocker just nicking Spartacino at the line as Daigle gets another gain of about 4. And that's a big reason why the right side of the field is pretty much open for Daigle. All right. And we have about 9:50 left to go here in the first half of play. And it's going to be a gain of 5. 2nd and 4. Ball on the Lexington 26-yard line. Walsh and the Red Devils once again in I formation. Daigle breaks a tackle to the outside and out of bounds at about the 15.
And another first down, Max.
Have they passed the ball once?
Nope, not
Nope.
once.
And it just doesn't matter right now. You can pretty much forget about balance when you've got a running back right now as dominant as Jake Daigle. Really a great weekend for football in general. Today we've got a couple NFL games on tap. The Indianapolis Colts and the Detroit Lions. And I don't know. Peyton Manning could torch that Lions secondary today. And one-back formation, Reale. Met immediately there by Cashmanian. And
that was really Paul Wenzel. Cashmanian really wasn't going to do anything right there. Cashmanian just backpedaling it with him right on his body, but Paul Wenzel just came in and took him down.
And the other NFL game today, the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears. And by all means, avoid that game like the plague. 3-6 versus 3-6. Two pretty atrocious NFL football teams. Drew Henson, former Michigan quarterback, could be making his first start as a Dallas Cowboy, his first start of his NFL career today, against the Chicago Bears, who...
And I'm liking that because they're going to be handing it off a lot to Eddie George, who's on the fantasy team.
Yep. Eddie George, so good for so long. Having a pretty decent season in Dallas.
Really, Parcells really doesn't like him.
No.
He's made a couple of comments. Parcells is a passing guy.
Which I find to be ironic, seeing as that Parcells is the one who pushed for Eddie George to be signed in the first place.
Yeah.
Another I-back formation here. Fumbled snap by Walsh, but I'm pretty sure he recovered that ball. Lexington
will gladly take that.
Absolutely.
A gain of nothing is basically a loss of 10 yards.
Yep. You think about the way that this running game has been going so far today. So 3rd and 7, 8:25.
It's a very, very important down here. And that's why Burlington's going to take a timeout here. And we've got a beach ball floating around.
Yep. So as we take a timeout, I assume that Lexington is just going to keep on pounding that football. I mean, Busa showed some good arm strength so far today, but he just could not connect with Curley and Cashmanian downfield.
Surmaki.
And Surmaki also. Burlington's cover corner is really great, and that just shows you why this team has not allowed more than a touchdown in any game so far this season. But Lexington very close to being the first team to break that streak. They have the ball at about the 23-yard line. We apologize. We are not going to be able to have our sideline reporter, Scott Yermovsky, join us today due to difficulties down on the sideline. Just getting word of that now.
Maybe we can get him in here at half, maybe?
Maybe we can. Who knows? Other football games today, Rutgers and UConn. Another game to pretty much avoid like the plague. Although UConn playing decent football in their first season in the Big East. Rutgers,
I'm impressed.
Perennial cellar dweller. The thing that I find very amusing about the Big East this year is the fact that Temple is getting kicked out for being so bad. That is pretty amazing. When you have to kick out a team for being that bad, that should say all you need to know. Daigle right up the middle and inside the 10-yard line. Daigle once again right up the middle. And
Daigle almost untouched right there. Almost.
Great lead blocking again from Joe Reale, and Daigle just went right up the middle. And once again, Lexington's defense just could not get penetration on that play. And a big pickup again by Jake Daigle. And the ball is going to be marked on the 4-yard line. We're going to get a timeout for Burlington yet again.
Hey, Max, have you ever heard of a captain not starting?
No, I haven't.
Well, Christopher Oates.
Not starting?
Not starting.
That's very interesting. And as we mentioned last week, this Lexington team had a huge overtime win at Reading. That game was moved to Wednesday after the game was postponed this past Saturday due to the weather. Really just an exciting game from all accounts. Jesse Spartacino, game-winning touchdown in overtime to win that game and improving Lexington's record to 6-4, good for 3rd in the Middlesex League. I formation, give to Real. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Actually, excuse me, that was Daigle. Daigle, his second touchdown of the ball game. And 13-7, Burlington, another very impressive drive from this Red Devils ball club. They did not pass the ball yet again. They have not passed the ball all game, but it doesn't seem to matter right now. Not sure why the Burlington band is playing the Notre Dame fight song, but we'll get word on that. Yep. So, to kick the extra point will be Dan Horty. He has already booted one right through. And definitely one of the most interesting plays so far of this game has been Lexington's extra point, which was a pretty wacky extra point to say the least. That kick is up. No good.
And Max, I'll say it again, like I said maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. Extra point misses can come back to haunt you.
They certainly can, and we saw that firsthand the last game we did, which was a while ago. That was maybe a month ago. And was that Fitzgerald who missed the extra point? Yes, it was. And that absolutely destroyed Lexington down the stretch as they had to go for a 2-point conversion, and that lost them the game.
Yep.
And always an emotional day, senior day, last game for so many of these players who really helped to rebuild this Lexington football program. Harrison Arak, number 47, his first year as a starter, has played very well. Mike Busa has really lent a lot of stability to the quarterback position. And we are just getting word now that Scott Yermonsky will be able to join us down on the sideline. We will get our first update from him as soon as possible. Mike Busa has thrown for 7 touchdown passes this season. And what can you say about Jesse Spartacino? Just the heart and soul of this offense for 4 years.
1,550 yards this season.
Unbelievable, and 19 touchdowns. And Walsh set to kick it off. And a little squib kick, and it is recovered by Cashmanian. Good field position again for the Lexington Minutemen. So Busa and company will go to work, trying to give Lexington their first lead of the ball game. Burlington leads 13-7. We have about 7:51 left to go in the first half of play. And Matt, another sad day. This is also your last chance to win the raffle.
Oh, God.
And that raffle ticket really just, I hope you get lucky today, my friend, because you're really not going to get another chance after this. Matt's struggles with the raffle, famous in Lexington football lore. Pass to Curley, incomplete. Great coverage there by number 20, Garrett Redfern.
Great play there.
A nice pass by Busa, but Redfern came right in, tipped it off his fingertips, and that's going to bring up second down. Really, Lexington's first pass in a while. But truthfully, they really have to pass the ball if they're going to win this game. Because Ross Curley, as we mentioned in the pregame show, really can make things happen. 4 touchdowns so far this season. Jason Cashmania is really doing a good job as well. Oh! And a beautiful hit once again by Redfern. What a hit. Curley was open for a split second. Busa delivered a perfect pass, and Redfern just came in and made the hit.
Redfern is a 5'7" sophomore, Max, so...
By no means a big person, but...
Yeah, small, but he packs a punch.
Yep. Kind of like a mini John Lynch. So here's Busa. Third down for the Minutemen. And a huge play. Probably the biggest play so far in this game.
3rd and 10, 7:42 left to go in the half.
Now, do you switch it up here and maybe give a little run to Spartacino, or are they going to pass the ball again?
I think they're going to pass the ball again.
And a toss sweep to Spartacino. He loses the football, gets it back, but that could have been disastrous.
Well, they should have passed the football.
Yeah, they should have. A little toss sweep to Spartacino almost went horribly wrong there. Spartacino was able to pick up the football, but Lexington is going to have to punt for the first time today. And Redfern, who made 2 consecutive great plays at the quarterback position, will be back to return the punt. Busa set to punt it. And a booming kick. Nice punt by Busa. And they're just going to let that one roll all the way to about the 26-yard line. Nice punt by Mike Busa. Burlington goes back to work, up by 6.
And this is when they have to do something, Max.
Yep.
They cannot afford another score and just let them march right all over them down the field. You have got to stop Daigle and Reality.
And we'll see how successful they are. Busa playing safety. Although he's been playing safety for a couple weeks now.
Dan Walsh yet to throw a pass.
Yep.
Still won't.
Nope. And let me tell you, when you have two running backs as good as Reale and Daigle, it really takes a lot of pressure off the sophomore quarterback.
I mean, you're satisfied. You're satisfied with plays like that when Lexington defense, but still, that's 5 yards max, and he is averaging maybe 7, 8, 9 yards.
Daigle just really running the ball with authority right now, and Walsh and company really don't have to do a whole lot except just enjoy. Back to pass, batted down right there. Could have been a huge play if that was picked off. And I didn't hear who that was who broke up the pass. I think it was Ed Borden. Yeah, it was. Eddie Borden, senior captain, has really done a nice job throughout his career as both an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman, playing the defensive end position and guard. So, 6:18 left to go here, 3rd and 5, and we are going to get a timeout.
He has entered the building.
By
Along with their entourage.
And as we said, Burlington on a 3-game win streak. They beat Reading 3 weeks ago, 20-10, Stoneham 39-14, and Belmont 41-27. I didn't think that Belmont could put 27 points on the board. That's very surprising. It says here that Burlington's defense has not allowed more than 1 touchdown in any game this season, and yet, you take a look at these scores, Belmont scored 27 points, unless they did that against the offense.
Right side of the plate.
So that must have been it. We don't have word on that, but I would assume as much.
20 points against an offense is it's pretty miraculous.
Yep. Especially for Belmont. Belmont should be the temple of the Middlesex League. They should just contract them, but they won't. So Walsh and company, 3rd and 5. Big play here for the defense. Crowd calling for defense. Walsh looking at his play chart. I-back formation. Actually, just one back in the backfield. Walsh back to pass. Incomplete. Harrison Arak almost had that interception. Nice coverage by Harrison Arak. Almost his 3rd interception in 2 weeks. Harrison Arak read that play the entire time, was just an inch away from picking off that pass. And a very nice play by Harrison Arak. So, going to be 4th down here. And Burlington looks like they're going to punt this ball away. And they will. And Dan Horty, who's also their field goal kicker, set to punt it away.
Curly
back deep. Nice kick. Almost blocked, though. And gets a Burlington bounce. But that puddle doing some good things for the Minutemen. That puddle so far, special teams MVP for this Lexington Ball Club.
Everybody gets a moment to shine, Max.
Yep. Even the puddle. 5:55 left to go here in the half. Burlington, on their opening drive, marched right down the field, capped by a Jake Daigle 3-yard touchdown run. Lexington responded. Jesse Spartacino punched it in from a yard out. And Jake Daigle, a couple drives ago, capped a beautiful 56-yard drive with a touchdown, 13-7. Burlington is the score. Busa under pressure. He's going to run with it. Picks up a 1st down and more. Nice run by Mike Busa. Looking a lot like a number 7 right there. John Elway in his prime. Busa can run with the football if he has to. And right there, he saw the pocket collapse. He found daylight on the right side. And he picks up a gain of about 25 yards. The longest play from scrimmage so far today for this Lexington Ball Club. Curley, the lone running back. Spartacino and Flory in the backfield. Give to Spartacino. Met immediately. Tackle made there by number 56. That is Daniel Agagian. So really the first time that Spartacino has been stopped at the line of scrimmage. And that little off-tackle play has been doing some good things for this Lexington offense. Burlington's defense really just read that play from the get-go. And Spartacino got back to the line of scrimmage. 4:47 left to go, 2nd and 9. Once again, split back formation. Busa passing it way overthrown, intended for Suramaki. Busa just got a little too excited there. Suramaki was open in the flat. He just overthrew him. And the band playing the Rocky theme song, trying to get this crowd involved. Possibly the greatest sports song of all time. I'm going to throw it out there. And hey, look at this band that Burlington brought out. My goodness. We haven't seen a band like that since Belmont last season brought that band with the goofy hats.
Wow.
And
we all
my
love
goodness,
that.
those hats were pretty goofy. Split back formation. Busa batted at the line, incomplete. And once again, great pressure from that Burlington defensive line.
And it'll bring up a 4th and long here, Max. And that's not what Lexington wanted. And what are you supposed to do on a 4th and long when you've tried 2 straight pass plays that have done nothing?
Yep. And Busa is probably going to punt this baby away. Now he is calling a play on offense, I believe. Although all spa's in. Now he's going to punt the ball. Really, Lexington put together a nice drive for a while, driving into Burlington territory. But it was stalled. Busa, nice punt, and that's going to roll into the end zone, though, for a touchback. Burlington will start 1st and 10, ball placed. Will be placed on their own 20-yard line. You've got a timeout on the field, 4:29 left to go in the first half. It is a gray, overcast day here for football, but it's warm out. It's warm out, and obviously the field conditions are not the greatest, as we've mentioned on several occasions. Really, as I said earlier, reminds me of the first Thanksgiving game that we did when Lexington was 0-10.
Not a fun season.
No, not a fun season at all. Last season was much better, to say the least. So onto the field will be Walsh and the Burlington offense. And the ball will be placed at about the 20-yard line. Lexington's defense going to try and step it up again. And we are going to send it down for the first time after this play with Scott Yermovsky. Daigle, nice carry, still on his feet, and he'll be close to the line of scrimmage. Going down to the first time today with Scott Yermovsky on the sideline. Scott?
How you doing, Max? I'm standing here. I'm out of here on the field. I'm trying to give my headset back right now. There we go. So far, today's match has been incredible. As you see, the Burlington Devils are doing an incredible job of moving the ball against the Lexington Minutemen. But the real story out now, right now, is the field. If you can see it right now, if we can get a quick shot by our beautiful cameraman, Larry Schweitzer, you can see right now there's some puddles going on. They were out this morning very early, getting really on the ball, getting on the field, draining the field, and getting all the water off. But it's really not made much of a difference in the fact that, it's really just absolutely terrible conditions out there. So hopefully it'll get better, and hopefully the game will not be affected by the terrible keeping of the Lexington Minutemen. Back to you, Max.
All right, thanks a lot, Scott. And as you said, the grounds crew was here trying to drain the field very early, and needless to say, they weren't exactly successful. So we thank Scott there for that update. We've got little under 4 minutes left. What a great play right there by number 86, Jimmy O'Keefe. His helmet flew off there, but he simply did not care. Jimmy O'Keefe, a two-sport star, also will start at power forward this season for the Lexington Minutemen basketball team. And a reminder to our viewers at home that in a couple weeks, Lexington basketball will be starting up again. Myself and Andrew Yeagan will bring you every home game from Ralph Lauren Gymnasium as the Lexington Minutemen look for their 5th consecutive Middlesex League title in a row. Under pressure, and down goes Walsh. Didn't see who made the sack there. And that was O'Keefe again. Jimmy O'Keefe on consecutive plays has just flown right through the line. And he brings down Walsh for Lexington's first sack of the ball game. Great penetration there by O'Keefe.
Finally getting some penetration. Trying to hype up this defensive line for the Lexington Minutemen. That's exactly what they needed.
So Lexington's defense rising to the occasion here. 2:14 left to go, 3rd and 15. Burlington finally in a passing situation. Under pressure is Walsh, and that pass, I believe, was caught, but it's not going to matter much. And
Spartacino got the tackle.
Yep. William Lundgren, I believe, made that play.
4th and 10, here comes the punting unit.
And Lexington's defense, huge stop here. They're going to have just a little bit over 2 minutes to try and take the lead going into halftime, which would be huge for this confidence of this football team. Very nice crowd on hand today. Pretty close to a sellout. Fans really enjoying the Thanksgiving Day pageantry and football today.
Festivities.
Thank you, Matt. Walsh back to punt here.
Whoa!
Awful, awful snap. That ball is going to go all the way to the goal line, and he punts it away. Could have been disastrous for the Burlington Red Devils. And what could have been possibly a safety or even a touchdown turns into a 30-yard punt.
That shows you that they don't punt often.
Nope. That was just a terrible snap. It was a terrible snap. So Lexington with a huge break here as they have really nice field position on the Burlington 30-yard line. Busa and company looking to go into the locker room with the lead. Busa is going to run it again. Tucks it. First down and more. Mike Busa running hard with that football, and he is inside the red zone.
If you can't contain Busa, then he's going to make you pay for it.
Once again, pocket collapsing. No hesitation to just run right through. And Busa, with another nice gain, picks up a Lexington first down.
And I say right here, you keep handing it off to Spartacino.
A 15-yard gain by Busa. Pretty sure he's run for over 60 yards today. 47 yards, says Andrew Yeagan, our statistics man. Busa to the end zone, incomplete.
I think right now they're forcing the pass. I don't know exactly why they are, Max. They had a minute 30 right here. Spartacino's their best offensive weapon. I really, really strongly believe that they should have gone with the run right there.
I think they were just trying to change things up a little bit. Right idea. Busa just could not connect there with Ross
I mean,
Curley.
there was 3 guys, one Lexington receiver in the end zone.
So this is going to bring up second down here for the Minutemen. Ball will be placed on the 15-yard line. A little over a minute left to go. Minute 16 to be exact. So second down here for Lexington. This time the handoff to Spartacino. Spartacino picks up about 2. And it will bring up third down. And we're going to get a timeout called by Lexington. They're going to discuss what they want to do here on third down, which will be a huge, huge play coming up here for this team. Possibly the most important play in the game thus far. As we take a look at the statistics here, leading the way in terms of tackles for this Lexington defense, Paul Wenzel with 4, and Harrison Arak and Jason Cashmanian tied for 3, respectively, good for second.
O'Keefe's got those 2 tackles with the sack, though, Max.
Yep.
Probably most important.
Busa is 3 of 10 for only 14 yards, but that 4 carries for 47 yards. Big plays for this Lexington offense to keep drives alive. Fans on their feet trying to get this offense involved here. Really, the fans doing a better job than the cheerleaders trying to get this crowd involved. don't want to be too harsh on the cheerleaders or anything, just making a statement here. We've got a I-back formation. Busa is going to throw it. Looking at the end zone, and Curley dropped it. That would have been a touchdown. Ross Curley, normally one of those sure-handed receivers on this football team, could not hang on. Curley had a touchdown right there. Took his eye off the ball. And now it's going to be fourth down. It's going to be interesting to see what the Minutemen do here. Busa obviously has shown that he's not exactly a reliable field goal kicker. I would be very surprised to see the
Take
Minutemen,
another timeout.
Yeah, we're going to take a timeout and discuss this. So what do you do here, Matt? As we saw, Busa, not exactly the world's greatest field goal kicker. I would expect the Minutemen to run an offensive play here.
Well, I mean, that play absolutely worked in every single way. It's just Curley just couldn't come up with it. So, I mean, I'm suspecting another pass, maybe a screen pass, maybe if they can get the blockers out to the right or left side. I mean, really you could go with anything here. It's just Sparacino obviously can't run it here. It's 10 yards plus another 7 to the goal line.
Right. And then you got the mud.
We're under a minute already.
Yeah, I would be pretty shocked if this ended up being a running play. And Busa has been looking for Curley all game long. Curley just has not been able to catch the ball.
Well, you also have to, as I said in the beginning, right off the start, you have to incorporate the mud here.
Yep.
It's probably a very slippery ball. No matter how much you towel that ball off, it's always going to be slippery. Maybe a little out to Cashmanian here. Cashmanian leading the team with 5 touchdowns.
Busa rolling out, looking to the end zone, almost caught. Oh boy, that was almost picked and then almost caught by Curley. Wow, Busa just forced that pass. Oh wow. So the Burlington defense holds, doing what they've been doing all season long. And now we're going to send it down to the sidelines. In just a minute, we're going to get an update from Scott Yermovsky going into halftime. Under a minute left to go. And the Burlington Red Devils bend it. That's the way that they play defense. They bend, but they certainly don't break. And Walsh probably just going to take a knee here. Nope, he's going to little run to Daigle. And met immediately there by the defense.
45 seconds in running, and Burlington's not going to take a timeout here.
Never done. Just going to let it wind down. Been a very exciting first half of football so far, Burlington. And we're going to kick it down to the sideline, where we join Scott Yermovsky. And Scott, obviously confused. Scott, are you there? Scott?
Scotty boy.
Well, I'm standing here. I'm giving you the ORAC report. As you've seen before, Harrison ORAC has played a pretty big role so far. 2 tackles so far as we can count. An incredible broken up pass, which is almost intercepted. It's unfortunate the field was completely open. Would have been a touchdown. Although I'm a little biased being Harrison ORAC's best friend, I think it's important to say that Harrison ORAC has contributed more to this team than anyone else. Something else we've noticed here on the sideline, the coaching staff has really gone away from the running game, which is really disappointing to everyone. Everyone on the sideline is getting very upset. And going into halftime, Coach Ty has got to be thinking to himself, it's time to start running the ball. It's time to get back to real football. It's Thanksgiving Day. It's Spartacino's last game, and we got to do something about it because we're not losing this Burlington Red Devil team. Back to you, Max.
All right, Scott, thanks a lot. Once again, the score going into halftime, Burlington 13, Lexington 7 here on Comcast 10. We'll be back with the second half in just a little while. Stay tuned.
Well, I'm here right now on the sideline right now, and as you can see, the Lexington Minutemen have entered the field. It's right over there. They're taking the field, and right now the score is 13-7, and we're getting pretty nervous here on the Lexington side because there's no sign of stopping this Burlington offense, led by Joe Reale and Niegel, 2 of the great players in this Burlington team, and right now the Lexington defense is playing almost as atrocious as the Burlington pep band. And let me say that pep band was awful. I could not believe they were allowed on the field, and they didn't deserve to be on the field, but they were. And I apologize for all of you who had saw that. So moving on, I'm going to kick it back to you, Max. Hopefully we'll have a great second half ball, and hopefully Lexington victories. Back to you, Max.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Thanks a lot, Scott.
That was a little harsh there, but welcome to second half football along with Max Rollinger. I'm Matt Rippon. I'll be doing the play-by-play commentary. Max will be doing color for the second half. And Max, first half of football, exciting, but not exactly what Lexington wanted. Why is that, Max?
Well, obviously, Ross Curley, obviously one of the biggest reasons why they didn't accomplish everything that they wanted to. Ross Curley has really been this team's best receiver for pretty much the entire season, and he had a number of catches or a number of missed catches that really could have helped continue drives for this Lexington football team, and especially at the end of the half there where he dropped a sure touchdown. Lexington's down by 6. They could be up by 1 if Curley just hung on to that pass. So receivers and Mike Busa not really on the same page in the first half. That's something that's got to be worked at if his team is going to win the football game.
13 points scored there by Burlington, all rushing right there. They tried to pass at the end of their last drive, absolutely nothing. And that's partly because they don't really have much of a passing game, but partly because this secondary Lexington defense is so well-rounded. Max, how are they going to stop Jake Daigle and Joe Reale?
Well, really the thing that they have to do best for Lexington to come out on top here, they really have to get better penetration. I mean, I know that we've been saying that for a while, but the defensive linemen have to clog those holes, and they need to allow the linebackers to come up and make plays. That's the biggest reason why Jake Daigle was so successful in the first half, is because once he breaks that first tackle, he's very dangerous in the open field, and that pretty much assures that he will get 5, 6, 10-yard carries pretty much every time he touches the ball. If Lexington is going to come out on top and win this football game, they have got to make sure that they contain Jake Daigle. They need to make sure that they stop him in his tracks.
Absolutely, Max. Also notable is Captain Adam Burt is anchoring this offensive line that is absolutely dominating the Lexington defensive line and really creating those holes. I mean, you really can't blame the defensive line as much because that offensive line of Burlington is just playing amazingly.
Well, the offensive line, as we said in our broadcast earlier, Daigle and Reale have combined for over 1,400 yards rushing this season. Good numbers, and obviously the offensive line is the biggest reason for that. You know, when you've got guys, guys who are 6'5", 6'3", high 200 pounds, those guys are going to maul shorter guys, especially, Ed Borden, who, is a pretty big guy, but compared to some of these 6'5" offensive tackles, he really doesn't hold a candle to that. So this offensive line of Burlington has just continually dominated Lexington's defensive line, and that's the biggest reason why Jake Daigle and Joe Reale are having such great success here in the first half.
And so here's Dan Walsh. He'll be kicking off for Burlington. Spartacino back to receive the kick at the start of the second half.
And look for the Burlington offense to open it up a tiny bit in the second half of play.
And here's the kick. It's on the ground. It's hit at number 3, Lucas LeBlanc. LeBlanc,
that's a face mask.
And it will be called. And Lucas LeBlanc gets it to right about the 35-yard line.
And that was Seth Guerra on the return. We haven't heard that name in a while.
Yes, there was Seth Guerra.
Seth Guerra had a couple really nice games earlier in the season, kind of disappeared a little bit from the offensive game plan as Andrew Flory emerged as a quality second running back next to Jesse Spartacino, but Guerra, a very valuable asset to this ball club, and would not be surprised if he was this team's leading rusher next season. We'll have to see, of course, how that plays out.
So here we go, starting off an I formation, 2 receivers to the left of Busa. Busa, play action to Spartacino. Busa looking downfield, blows up a bomb, he's got a man! And inches too far to Surmaki, he laid out, but could not come up with it. Those plays like that is what football is labeled a game of inches.
Yep, and Mike Busa has had the right idea on those passes all game long. Problem is he's just putting a bit too much touch on that ball. That was a sure 7 points if he just delivers that ball a little bit more to Surmaki. He let him a little bit too much there. That would have been a sure 6 points otherwise.
So here we go.
Timeout. Up. Yep.
And it's going to be timeout Lexington.
Mike Busa, first half of play, really struggled throwing the football. Believe he's 3 of 12 for 14 yards. And obviously not great passing numbers. Busa's really done more with his legs so far today than with his arm. And he's really going to have to step it up and make better throws if Lexington's going to win this ball game.
Busa, hand off to Spartacino. He won't get anything. A yard, if that, for Spartacino on a second down. Bring up a 3rd and long. Spartacino, that's his 9th carry for 36 yards today. He also has that reception for the touchdown. Lexington's only touchdown thus far.
One person I'm kind of surprised Lexington hasn't utilized more is Jason Cashmanian. Look for them to utilize him a little bit more here in the second half.
Busa, ball's back, looking to pass. Busa doesn't have much. Throwing it, has. High up to Saramaki. Saramaki tackled down in Burlington territory. Inside the 30-yard line to the 25, first down Lexington.
And that was a really nice job there by Mike Busa, recognizing that he had rushers all around him. He didn't have any room to run, found Saramaki, delivered the ball. That is what Mike Busa that we're so used to seeing, and that needs to continue.
And that's the first time this game he's really waited for his receivers to get there. Other than the curly pass that was dropped, he's really waited. A couple of passes have been forced in, a couple forced bombs, but really waited and saw his options and used them. Busa in the I formation set. Spartacino to the right, cuts back to the left for about 2 yards.
And the biggest criticism that this coaching staff has had of Mike Busa is that he's a little too trigger happy. He locks onto his receivers a little bit too quickly, doesn't wait for the play to develop. Right there, he waited for the play to develop, and it produced big results, and that's got to happen.
He knows his receivers can catch the ball. Saramaki, great receiver. Curley, great receiver. He's got other weapons. Cashmanian, as you said. Curley to the right. Cashmanian lined up to the right. It's going to be the give to Cashmanian for a gain of about 4 yards.
A nice ball fake right there by Busa, and nice little run there by Cashmanian.
26, Tom Pickett took him down. And it'll be a 3rd and about 3.
5-yard gain on the play brings up 3rd down into Lexington.
So here we go. Wenzel out there, tight end in the tight end slot. Curley to the right.
Yeah, we haven't seen that in a while.
In the eye, Spartacino bounces off of one tackler, and he's got the first down.
And if you look at the way that Spartacino ran that football, just exploded into the line.
Tackle made by Aaron Bernstein.
Spartacino just absolutely turned on the jets there, bulldoze over his first man.
And here we go. Busa gives to Spartacino. Spartacino hung up for a gain of about 1. Let's go down to Scott Yermovsky on the sideline. And Scott has got a little report for us. Scott?
Okay, sorry about that. Really quick. With the sideline report, what's going on right now is you can see Lexington is driving, but we wanted to really quickly, we had a quick interview with Gabe Mack. We're going to bring him over here right now. Gabe Mack, just quickly, what's your opinion right now so far on the defensive line of the Lexington team?
Defensive line is being, they've been playing pretty poorly, but it's mostly the linebackers' fault. They haven't been rushing up to tackle Deigel, and Harrison Arak, the cornerback, is getting most of the tackles, and that's about 5 or 6 yards downfield. So that's obviously not a good thing.
Right. We're gonna quickly end this really quickly because the Lexington's team is getting close to a score or possibly a big play. So we're gonna send it back to Max. But very quickly, we just want to let you update. Jeff Churchill just went out right now, and he's over on the sideline with Eamon, and they're looking at what possibly could be going wrong. But overall, he's all right. He's on his feet. He's speaking well, and he can see straight. Possibly a concussion, possibly just a headache. We're not sure right now, but we'll send it back to you, Max. Thanks a lot.
All right, Scott, great interview right there. Good to hear from Gabe Mack, obviously. Gabe was poised for a big season before he tore that ACL, and he's been doing a lot better, and speedy recovery wishes to Gabe Mack, and really glad to see that he's been doing better.
Well, big down right here, 3rd and 6, and Booster's going to take a timeout.
Timeout has been called, Lexington.
What do you think you call here, Max? 3rd and 6. You're deep in the territory. You're on the 11-yard line. What do you do?
I think you call the same hitch play that they used at the end of the half, except instead of Curley, I think the intended receiver should be Suramaki. That same play.
I still
Burlington
think you put the ball in Cashmanian's hands.
Cashmanian has made big plays all season long. And,
He knows how to score touchdowns.
and again, Suramaki probably has the best hands on this team, so either or. Doesn't really matter. As long as they hold on to the ball, that's the biggest concern that this team has had. The receivers really have been dropping too many footballs.
So here's Booza, pump fakes, throws, no. Suramaki could not get up and over his defender, catch that one, and it's going to be a 4th and 6 right here.
The thing that really surprises me, Lexington has been driving so well, and then once we get to the red zone, they just stall a little bit. It's just like for play calling, just goes stale. And I really don't know what the concern is here. Obviously, they want to try and score points, but sometimes you have to be a little bit more creative than, just handing the ball off to Spartacino. Sometimes you got to switch it up a little bit. And really stale play calling here in the red zone, really killing this football team.
Booza lined up in the eye, 4th down. The sweep to Spartacino. Spartacino
He's in.
gets hit. Is he in?
I think he's in. Nope.
No, he's not, but he's got the 1st down.
No excuse for a hole that big right there. Absolutely no excuse. Burlington should have seen that coming the whole time.
So here we go at a 1st down here.
And take a look
First
at the
and goal
replay right
here.
there.
Spartacino.
Spartacino keeps his legs moving, and that's why he's such a great running back. Never stalls, just keeps his legs moving.
Booza again. Flory, Spartacino lined up in the eye. Curley to his right. Spartacino, is he in?
He's in.
Yes, he is. Spartacino runs for the 1-yard touchdown, and Lexington ties this game up 13-13.
Excellent drive there by the Minutemen.
A balanced plays, passing, running. Nice job by Booza, and nice job by Coach Ty.
And the real key to that drive, the thing that really just helped this drive develop, was that play by Booza. Could have easily been sacked, found Suramaki in the flat, that continued the drive. Without that, still 13-7.
Personally, I thought Booza was going to take off for a 1-yard run.
But hey.
Turned into a 40-yard pass.
Yep.
So here we go. Booza lifts it up. And it is no good.
Oh, boy.
And instead of taking the lead right there, it's tied 13-13.
If you were to title a highlight video for this Lexington football team for the 2004 season, you'd probably title it Missed Opportunities, because that's what's been happening to this football team all season long. Once again, missed extra point could come back to haunt them. Instead of a 1-point lead, they are tied now at 13. But nonetheless, a very nice drive from the offense.
By the way, Max, got the 50-50 raffle, the last one ever.
Personally, I think you should have just bought all the tickets.
They lost a lot of money.
Yep, probably.
Kicking this off is going to be
I think it's
Jason
more
Cashmanian.
Fitzgerald.
Taken by number 35. Nope, not. Sorry.
Kevin Bernstein on the return. Kevin Wu makes the tackle. All right, Matt, here we go.
Nope.
And the struggles continue.
Well, that's how I wanted to end, Max.
No. It would have been nice to finally see you win that raffle, but hey.
Well, here's Walsh giving it off to Daigle. Daigle, gain of about 3. Up to about midfield.
And finally, the
Nope,
defense gets
about
penetration there.
45-yard line.
Yep.
Munger on the stop.
Haven't heard that name in a while.
Once again, the winning 50-50, 104-099.
Walsh, hands off to Daigle again. And they're going to wrap him up. The game about 2. So it'll be about a 3rd and 5 situation here, Max. What's interesting to me is that
Brian Ham makes the tackle there.
almost every time Burlington is lining up with 3 receivers, yet running the ball almost every down.
That is a little confusing. I think it's just to kind of keep the defense honest so they can't crowd the line.
And there's the play fake.
Nice draw
and
play.
He gets right down to the, looks about the 40-yard line where he's tackled by Andrew Flory.
4:43 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Burlington again, just driving that football. And a beautiful draw play right there. Very well executed.
There's the handoff to Daigle. Daigle again. Taken down by Harrison Arak. A 10-yard gain. And another first down.
Daigle, really nice inside runner, even better outside runner.
He's a speedy back.
Yep.
As opposed to Jesse Spartacino's more
Right.
power
or
runner.
Joe Reale, who's really the in-between the tackles guy.
Yeah.
Daigle really is at his best when he's in the open field.
So here we go, Walsh. With Daigle behind him. 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Daigle gets the handoff. Flory meets him.
And Munger as well.
Flory and Munger take him down with a gain of a minimal gain. 1, maybe 2 yards.
Oh, boy. And a Burlington man wins for raffle. All was not well.
Nobody likes that.
I think he should just give you the money. Pick a fight with that guy in the parking lot afterwards.
Here is, that looked like Reale.
Yep.
And taken down by Andrew Flory.
And I was reminded at halftime that the Cowboys-Bears game, both teams are not 3-6, we're actually 3-7. So extra incentive not to watch that game. Now that surprises me. Bill Parcells' team's usually so good in the second year, but
There's a crowded backfield here. Give us to Reale. And it's going to be wrapped up there by Paul Wenzel, Ross Curley.
and the Patriots have a huge game this weekend against the Ravens. That's going to be an exciting affair. Ray Lewis making his first visit to Foxborough.
And again, a crowded backfield. This is what I thought they would be doing instead of having the 3 receivers, the 3 people in the backfield. Reale plowing by a couple guys. And Sir Maki finally brings him down, but Reale now taking over most of the carries on this drive.
Yep, and when you've got 3 running backs in the backfield like that, you pretty much know what's coming. But Joe Reale just powered his way through that line, and he turned a gain of about 2 into a gain of about 6.
The second is short. Ball at about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to mark it about the 7, I think, inside the 10.
Yes.
Same formation.
And
QB sneak there.
QB sneak by Walsh there for about 4 yards.
kind of caught the Minutemen by surprise.
Yeah. Walsh's first carry of the day. And they're really doing that hurry-up offense. It seems to be working.
They love that
And
bunch backfield.
The crowded backfield, hand off to Reale. And taken down by a gang of Lexington Minutemen, led by Flory and Cashmanian and Sarmaki.
I really thought that Burlington was going to open up the offense more in the second half, but really the running game, as the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's been Burlington's approach so far in the second half.
And here's the handoff to Reale. It'll go untouched, but there's a flag in the play.
Probably false start.
Looks like it would be. Came out very early.
Offsides
No.
on the defense, wow.
And it will be a touchdown.
Thought I saw, who was that? Daniel Agagian move before the ball was snapped, but apparently not.
So that's a touchdown for Burlington. And they'll go for the...
Their third rushing touchdown in the ball game.
Makes this a 19-13 game. Burlington's up with less than a minute to go in the third quarter.
And they're going for two.
And they're going for two here. The crowded backfield and hard to be stopped. Did they do it?
He didn't get in. No.
No, they did not. That is big right there, Max.
Absolutely.
Took a chance, tried to roll the dice, but Burlington could not come up with a two-point conversion, and Lexington will be set to receive. Brian Ham stopped him with a little help from his mates on the defensive line.
Yeah, and I think those guys pretty much knew that Reale was going to get the carry there, and they just stood their ground, and now Burlington up, I believe, 19-13. Yeah, 19-13. With under a minute left to go in the third quarter. But nonetheless, a very impressive drive right there by Burlington, and Lexington's going to have to respond.
Very seesaw-like game here, Max. Just like last year. These teams are very evenly matched.
And both of these teams really have had seesaw years.
Mm.
Lexington and Burlington both started off slow, but towards the end of the season, they've really started to find their groove. So an up-and-down game for two up-and-down teams. And once again, Walsh going to the Kurt Chisholm style kickoff.
And Walsh gets number 31. That is
Peter Krensky.
Peter Krensky will just flop on it, and Lexington will gladly take that at the 41-yard line.
And Peter Krensky did the smart thing right there. Just covered up the ball and made sure that nothing bad happened there. Just covered up the ball, fell on top of it, and picture perfect form. That's what you want to do.
That's what you're taught to do. Here we go. Lined up in the eye. Two to the right. Booza's looking to pass. Lots of time. Booza
Now he's under pressure.
still looking, and he's going to be taken down. Sacked by number 26. That's Thomas Pickett.
And you could see right away that play pretty much broke down from the minute that Booza snapped the ball. He had pressure right off the bat there, and Booza tried to make something happen, but he held on the ball for too long.
So 2nd and 14 now, Max. Not something you wanted on the first down when you're trying to answer to a team that just scored on you. But Booza has the eye, gives it back to Cashmanian. Cashmanian will be taken down after a gain of about 2.
And that's the end of the third quarter.
And that'll do it for the third quarter. Lexington looking to respond after Burlington scores. It's 19-13. Burlington over Lexington at the end of 3.
And now Lexington faced with 3rd and long here, and they got to make something happen. Although, a positive sign, Lexington's defense has been playing better. It's just the offense now that needs to get back in the groove that they had going in the first half. But Burlington's defense really turns on the heat and as you get further along in the game, and
Max,
that's obviously what they're doing.
Andrew has just informed me on a little bit of a band battle going on here.
Really?
2 bands going at once. Who will be the victor?
Burlington, better hats.
It's true. We don't have any hats or uniforms for that matter.
Yep.
Here's some through the 3rd quarter statistics here. We have Spartacino with 14 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown. Plus a reception that came in the 1st quarter of play for the touchdown. Booza's only 4 for 15, 44 yards with that touchdown pass to Spartacino. Curley's got a catch for 8 yards, and Suramaki 2 catches for 34 yards. Booza's also scrambled for 6 carries, 46 yards.
And if you remember last year, Spartacino had a really weird game. He ran for about 130 yards, but he also fumbled the ball 3 times.
So here we go, 3rd and 12, very important down here. Booza's looking, passing, Suramaki couldn't get it.
And that's not Mike Booster's fault.
And Suramaki went right through the fingertips of Tayato Suramaki. Does not happen often.
That was a very catchable ball, too. No question about it.
Maybe every blue moon that'll happen. Nobody's perfect. Hayato extended up for that one, went through the fingertips, and just could not come up with it. And Booz is going to have to punt this away.
And really, what a time for Suramaki to not make that catch.
High snap, Booza collects it, punts it off. That's a nice punt by Booza. And it's fumbled. It's fumbled momentarily, but he falls on it as Wenzel tackles him. All the way down, though, at the 15-yard line. So, great punt there by Mike Booza. He really just booted the ball.
I'd say that Mike Booza has quite a career in punting if he ends up playing college ball. He's really developed into quite a punter. But a really big defensive series here for the Minutemen. They'd really love to force a quick 3 and out here and get the ball back for their offense.
So they scratch the 3-back formation, go back to the 2 receivers to the right of Walsh, and he's going to hand out 2.
I think that was Daigle, yeah.
That was Daigle, yep. And that's a gain of about 3 yards.
One positive thing, Daigle seems to be slowing down a little bit as this game goes on. Although that probably is more just the Lexington defense really just keying on them.
And so they a little refreshment of the Red Rocket receivers as there's 2 come
Red
out,
Devil
2 come
receivers,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, Red Devil, sorry.
It's okay.
And in the I formation, Walsh hands off to, that is Daigle, and Daigle breaks to the right side. Daigle's got a lot of room. Daigle is rushing up that right side. Daigle into Lexington territory. Aurak can wrap him up, and Daigle will go all the way for the touchdown. 78 yards. Daigle will run and get handshakes from, and he will get a flag for taunting, of course.
Talk about demoralizing.
So
Jake Daigle
goes 78 yards down the sideline. Nobody could catch him. He is one fast guy. Aurak here, as you can see, tried to wrap him up, couldn't do it. And then looks like Suramaki and Curley also couldn't. And it's going to be taunting on Daigle here as he unsportsmanlike conduct.
And only in high school football can you have spiking the ball in the end zone be unsportsmanlike conduct. But nonetheless, even with the penalty, demoralizing play for this Lexington defense.
78 yards there for Daigle. So they're set up to go for the 2-point conversion here, Max. Here we go. The crowded backfield again. Handoff is to no. Walsh has it. Walsh has it, and that'll be incompletion. Spartacino dragged him down as he tried to pass that. It will be an incomplete pass. No good.
Nonetheless, the move leads to 12 points.
25-13 Burlington now, and Lexington has got quite a mountain to climb.
They don't have a lot of time to do it either.
9:53 left to go in the fourth quarter. It can be done, but it'll be hard.
They're going to need a score on this next possession, force Burlington to a quick 3-and-out, and get the ball right back and score. They might have just enough time to do that. But they will get, hopefully, good field position as a result of that kickoff. The penalty assessed on the kickoff. We got 9:53 left to go in the fourth quarter. Lexington looking to win their second straight Thanksgiving Day game in a row. Burlington, with a win and a Melrose loss, will clinch a share of the Middlesex League title.
What a run by Jake Daigle. Nobody could bring him down. 78 yards, Max.
And Harrison Arak had a nice opportunity there, but Daigle just powered by him. There's Guerra. Almost broke that one loose. Nice return there by Seth Guerra.
So, Guerra, now will the penalty be assessed here, or was it already?
It was assessed on the kickoff, I believe. Yeah, it was.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 Minuteman on the Burlington 44-yard line.
One thing I'd like to see more of is maybe have the tight end O'Keefe get a little bit more involved in the offense. He's got pretty good hands. He has to if he wants to play basketball.
So Booza set in the eye. Booza, sweep to Spartacino. Spartacino spins his way for 8 yards. Actually, more like 6. And there's a Burlington player on the ground, and he's appeared to be injured. That's number 25, McCall Francois. Nope, that's number 26. I'm sorry, Tom Pickett. Big part of this Burlington defense thus far. He's got the 1 sack on Mike Booza.
And it's really just provided nice constant pressure all game. The thing that makes this Burlington defense so good, though, is that Spartacino has pretty much been held in check for most of this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, normally Spartacino, once he gets into the open field, he can break off the long runs. But
64 yards. Actually, after that play, it should be a little bit more. But Spartacino, another sweep. Spartacino gets that first down and more. Eating up yards, but also eating up clock.
True contradiction of terms. But like I said, Spartacino normally, once he gets into the open field, he's pretty much gone. But Burlington's secondary can really tackle, and they prevented a lot of near big plays from occurring, and that's one of the biggest reasons why Burlington has the lead here.
Split back formation. Booza hands off to Spartacino, and he's just trying to shove his way for 4 yards right there.
I think it's safe to say that the offensive coordinators of the Minutemen have kind of lost some faith in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not Mike Boosa's best effort so far.
A little salsa music here, Max.
Yep. Needs some more cowbell.
Booza hands off to Spartacino. Spartacino leaps forward, close to the first down marker. A gain of about 5 yards.
I'll tell you what, he keeps pounding through. But as you said, Matt, also clock time definitely becoming a factor here.
just under 8 minutes left to go, 7:56 to be exact. And an important 3rd and 2 play right here. Booza, split back formation. Flory to his right, Spartacino to his left, Curly to his far right. And he gives to Andrew Flory. Flory finds a hole. Flory, one more man to beat. And Flory, nice little run.
We have about 7:37 left to go here in the 4th quarter.
Still in the split back formation. Booza calling the shots, gives to Spartacino. A low sweep, but Spartacino gobbles it up and runs for about 3 yards.
But now we're inside the red zone, and we know that the Lexington Minutemen have had trouble there on offense all game long. Now's the time to snap out of that streak. And pick it right back in there.
Yep. 84 yards now for Spartacino on the ground. Plus a touchdown. And give it to Spartacino again, and a rumble for another 3-4 yards. So it's going to be 3rd down and 3.
Yep. Huge play right here, although it's 4-down territory no matter what.
Here's the I formation. Booza. Sweep is to Spartacino, and
Didn't
he
get
will
there.
be wrapped up, and he will not get there. So Spartacino, maybe a game of 1, but that's it. 4th and 2. So
And
here's the game right here,
yep,
Max.
this is it. And they're going to call timeout.
Timeout has been called. Lexington.
And looks like number 58, Mike Leelman, really just had the wind knocked out of them there.
That's their 3rd timeout of the half.
Having some issues there on the sideline. That's part of the game, though.
Sure
It's
is.
part of the game.
Lexington Bedford Hanscom Pop Warner cheerleaders. They will be going to Florida to represent Lexington Pop Warner for the Nationals. They will be outside both gates. They need to raise $20,000.
Well, Matt, as you said, this is the game. What do you do? 4th and 2.
Looks like a 4th and long 1.
Really?
Yep. That's maybe the longest one I've ever seen.
I'll tell you what I do. The last thing in the world they'd expect. Jimmy O'Keefe, back of the end zone.
Max, I highly disagree with you. I say punch it right up the middle of Jesse Spartacino. But it all really depends on Andrew Flory.
Yep.
If he can make his block, Spartacino has it.
Crowd on their feet. That should be a 1st down.
Spartacino
Yep, 1st down.
got it. So Coach Ty listens to me and picks up that 1st down. So it's going to be 1st and goal at about the 5-yard line.
Why don't you go upstairs and start calling some plays?
I think I might, Max. I think I might.
So you got a future ahead of you as an offensive coordinator.
Booza. Heading up to Spartacino. Spartacino.
He's in.
Pushing. Touchdown, Lexington. Spartacino, his second rushing touchdown of the game. Jesse Spartacino.
And we're going to go down to the sideline. Scott Yermovsky.
We had a 4-yard touchdown from Jesse Spartacino right there. Right now, the Lexington crowd is going absolutely nuts. We're really pumped to see this Lexington team really come out to play. But with 5 minutes and 23 seconds, we're worried to see if the Lexington game can come back from a 25-19. I guess it would be a loss right now if it stays the way it is right now. So basically what's going on right now with the field is we had some people out here trying to take care of the sidelines because there's a lot of plays going on where it was hitting the sidelines. And right over there, if we can get a shot, right there, the 2 middle puddles, or the 3 middle puddles, they were taking care of those before, but it doesn't look like much has gotten done. So we'll send it back to you, Max, for the extra point, or 2-point conversion for that.
Well, here's the 2-point conversion.
Throws it over. 2-point conversion is good.
They got the 2-point. How about that?
Thanks a lot, Max. Back to you.
Thank you, Scott Yermovsky down on the sideline.
Well, I'm sorry we missed that, but Lexington did get the 2-point conversion. And that is actually very big, Max.
It was.
As Lexington now only down by 4 points. Here's the replay. So another Thanksgiving classic on our hands here, Max.
Oh, absolutely. This game just got a little bit more interesting.
So Spartacino has 96 yards on the day today.
A solid day.
2 touchdowns on the ground, 1 from the aider. So every touchdown today has been because of Justin Spartacino. And
That's the measure of a great player.
Really has.
Nice tackle there by Brendan Plesha.
Wrapped up there by Brendan Plesha and company. And Lexington defense will trot back onto the field, see if they can stop him.
Yeah, Walsh and the Red Devil offense coming back on the field here. And a touchdown would pretty much seal the deal for Burlington. Lexington trying to go 3 and out here.
Burlington in the I formation, 2 receivers to the left side of Walsh.
And I really wish that guy would sit down.
Walsh heads out to Daigle. And Jimmy O'Keefe, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like every time he's been on that defensive end position, he has been dominant.
Needless to say, Jimmy O'Keefe, defensive MVP of the game for the Lexington Minutemen.
O'Keefe's got 3 tackles.
And all of them were huge.
One for a sack, and 3, all of them have been for losses, Max.
Mm-hmm. And like I said.
And Lord knows, Daigle is a hard back to tackle for anyone in high school football.
Crowd on their feet here.
And this crowd is very much getting into it. 3 receivers lined up there, 2 to the right of Walsh and the near side right, 1 to the far side left. Daigle, the lone back behind Walsh. And Walsh goes back to throw, fakes it, gives to Daigle. He is going nowhere. Eddie Borden and Andrew Flory, both on the tackle. And this Lexington defense is getting pumped with the help of this Lexington crowd.
Well, the last time Burlington tried that draw play, it went for 25 yards. This time, loss of 2. That's great recognition there.
And here we go.
3:54 left to go.
Back to throw. Walsh is looking. Will he get it? No, he will not. Overthrew him by about 10 feet.
Harrison Arak, great
well
coverage.
Covered by Harrison Arak. Paul Wenzel was also there. And this game is heating up.
And classic Harrison Arak, jumping up and down, trying to fire up the crowd. That's a Harrison Arak we know and love.
So that defense could not have done a better job to get the ball back into the hands of the offense.
And I don't know whether you saw it or not, Matt. Harrison, for a minute there, thought that there was going to be a pass interference call on him, and he was just livid. But then he saw there was no flag, trotted off the field, little chest bump. And that's exactly what Lexington had to do, 3 and out.
So here we go. Here comes the punt.
Almost
and it's
blocked.
a terrible punt. It'll roll and stop in a puddle at the 45-yard line of Lexington.
That puddle has been so key.
And Lexington will have the ball at their own 45-yard line with 3:39 left to go in the game.
After the game, definitely want to see Scott Yermovsky interview with that puddle. Scott, if you can hear me, start working it out. I want to see that interview.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Buzza and Spartacino leading this, maybe their last drive of their high school career. Booza hands out to Spartacino. Spartacino keeps churning those legs for 2 yards.
And if you want to stay tuned, as Scott Yermovsky will be interviewing that puddle after the game. We have just received word. And we have just received word that that interview will be
Booza.
taking place, so stay tuned.
I formation. Booza's looking to pass. Looking. Booza will scramble. Only for 2. So here comes a 3rd and 6.
Folks, we'd like to remind you every Friday at 5, tune in to In Session, Lexington's only home for great sports talk on Comcast 10. Myself, Matt, Scott, Harrison, and the rest of the boys bring you all the latest and greatest news from the wide world of sports.
So a huge 3rd down. The ball directly at midfield.
And if you're really bored, feel free to visit our non-existent website at insessionsports.net.
They need 5 yards, Max. Booza goes back. Looking.
Get rid of the
Fights
ball.
off 1. Gets rid of the ball. Does he have it?
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he does. But that's only for 1 yard, remember. And it's 4th and 4.
And Sir Maki just got leveled, and he is really hurting.
Heavy pressure on Booza, and he was only really just trying to get rid of that ball. Saw Suramaki at the last second, and Suramaki, great catch.
But he's really hurting there on the sideline.
Is he?
Yep. Right there on the bench.
And again, Max, here is the game. Exactly 2 minutes left to go. 4th, and the scoreboard says 2, but I don't know how
Hey,
that
Matt,
could possibly be
can we
2.
do these Thanksgiving games for the rest of our lives? Great
Booza
football.
in the I formation. Curly to and right. Gives to Spartacino.
Oh, that's going to be close. I don't think he got there.
And Spartacino did not get it.
Depends on where the spot is. Really depends.
And the spot is going to be a little bit short. Burlington ball.
And Spartacino a yard away from continuing that drive. Now with 1:54 left to go, Lexington's going to need something huge. And I joked with Harrison Arak about this a couple days ago. I said, Harrison, pick off a pass to win the game. Do it for me.
Max, I don't mean to insult you, but that will never happen because there is no way in hell that this Burlington team is going to pass the ball.
Well, Matt, I'd say you're probably right, but not going to stop me from hoping.
That is not exactly what they wanted.
Nope.
And it's timeout Lexington, but that's a gain of about 5. Daigle. And they've got to fire up and stop Daigle and stop Reale.
Once again, we'd like to take this time to thank the Department of Public Works, and we ask you to please take your trash with you and throw it into the receptacles provided throughout the stadium. Thank you.
So here we go.
So 2nd and 6, 1:47 left to go. Lexington has got to find a way to stop Daigle and Reale. Hand off is to Daigle. Daigle, and that's first down, Burlington.
That's going to be the game. Clock stops, Bo, to move those first down markers.
First down, Burlington.
Now, if Lexington's out of timeouts, that's the game. I think we're just going to take a knee here.
Once again, at the completion of the game, we have the presentation of the Rotary Trophy.
Yeah, and it looks like no receivers are lined up. And they're letting that clock run. Out of timeouts, Lexington. And that'll just about do it, Max.
Continuing to just run down that clock. And assuming that Lexington does not have any more timeouts left, that's going to do it.
Final stats here, Max. Spartacino did not eclipse the 100-yard mark, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. Obviously the offensive MVP, this team. 1 reception, 2 yards for 1 touchdown. Booza, 6 for 18 with 48 yards, touchdown, and 7 carries for 48 yards. And they're going to take that knee. Defensive stats, 7 tackles for Wenzel, 4 for Aurak and Cashmanium, 3 for Flory, 3 for Spartacino, and 4 for Suramaki. O'Keefe had 3 and a sack. And so Burlington just called a timeout. Wait a minute, Lexington did have one more timeout.
A little late.
So 26.3 seconds left. And that makes you wonder.
Yep. Well, best case scenario for Lexington, bad snap, fumble recovery for a touchdown. Worst case scenario.
Anything else?
Yep, exactly. Matt, being a lifelong Boston Red Sox fan, you never say it's over till it's over. But barring some unforeseen crazy play, no, it's not going to happen. That's going to do it. Burlington gets their revenge. And what a way.
With the final score, Burlington 25, Lexington 21. Burlington takes this one and its revenge on Lexington from last year here on Thanksgiving Day. For Max Rollinger, I am Matt Rippon. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Max, it's been a pleasure doing this with you.
On behalf of everyone here at Comcast 10, it's been 4 great years. We've had ourselves a lot of fun. From 0-10, from first to worst, it's been just an amazing experience. Thank you for tuning in all these years. It really has been an honor and a privilege, and God bless you all. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll be back in just a minute for the In Session postgame show.
Has ruined my life. And we're here with Max Rollinger.
And I think the biggest treat for all you viewers here at home is that after 4 years, you finally get to see my face. So here I am.
Very important for the viewers to see the beautiful man behind the voice. Basically, it was a tough loss today for Lexington. The Dirtbags finally got what they wanted, and yeah, there's not much more you can say about that. The linebackers didn't really hold up. They couldn't really stop reality, and in the end, the better team won. That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, absolutely. Burlington obviously came into this game very motivated after losing out on the Middlesex League title last year at home, which we were a part of. We broadcasted that game. And, you know, Lexington had their opportunities, but the bottom line was that the passing game for Lexington really never got going. Spartacino had his typical very solid game, finished just under 100 yards rushing. But the bottom line is Burlington just made more big plays when it counted, and that's why they're taking home the trophy this year.
And what's pretty sad is the fact that this is our last game, Max. It's been a pleasure doing everything with you.
Yeah, it certainly has, and I just want to thank all the viewers at home for keeping us on their TV screens all these for all these years. I know that obviously maybe got a little frustrated at points in time when we criticized your children, but hey, that's what we do.
That's what we do, and that's what we did. Thanks to all the crew over there in the Comcast. Special thanks out to Jim Akramchuk. We go out to Benji Perlman, Nick Levy, Andrew Yagan, Scott Hunter, Patrick Barhelia, Larry Schweitzer, a bunch of other guys. You already know Max and Matthew Griffin, myself.
But hey, we still got a full season of basketball, so don't forget, in a couple weeks, Lexington Minutemen going for their 5th straight Middlesex League title. Myself and Andrew Yagan and Scott will be on the sidelines. We'll have every home game for you live from Ralph Lauren Gymnasium, so stay tuned.
We're really excited for basketball season, but one last quick thing. We are the guys of In Session. We do it every week Friday night, and as you know, it is our senior year, and we will be leaving this year. We are taking jobs, applications for a new reality show as we will be passing down our titles as the In Session crew, and we'd like you to be a part of it. So if you are entering freshman year or sophomore year, and you've got a group of friends and you would like to make, the drip and become the new In Session guys, please send us your email address. You can access us at insessionsports.net.
Even though they blatantly can't, but
Well, it's okay with that.
and oh boy, what was I going to say?
Oh boy.
Boy, this is a little crazy, but we really do need to fill in that half-hour slot in our program, and looking to do a reality show. So hey, if you're interested in being on In Session, give us a call.
Give us a call and we will call you back. Thanks a lot. For an incredible season, Lexington football, I'm Scott Yermovsky.
And I'm Max Rollinger saying goodbye and see you never again.
Okay.